we are going to get back to basics. I've been away for a week with a totally different focus, and it's just fun to get back to the where we should be. So we'll be right back after this. Well, hi everyone. This is Lowell Ann, your host of the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. Greetings, panel members. I was worried that maybe all of you might have forgotten about this morning. So we will begin in the way that we normally do by introducing ourselves and saying what's new or something that that they would like to point out. So I will get us started by saying in my coaching and consulting work, I love helping solopreneurs who want more from their business. Together, we overcome that sense of overwhelm and the resulting procrastination. And we get that business mastery plan, get it solidified, and put it into a joyful reality. So, good morning, everyone. Let's see who's next. Well, David, you were here first, so let's hear from you.
Good morning. I'm Dave Flannery with Affordable Websites for Small Business and United Countries Sauk Valley Realty, Team Flannery, where we sell real estate. Been an interesting couple of weeks. I ended up getting some design work that I haven't done in a number of years. So now I'm back into a third business with the online machine shop, Uncle Davy's Sheep and Machine. But we picked up a nice job for designing spindles for a transformer company, so small transformer company. So been a good couple of weeks.
Oh, great.
And
But not that I have any idea what a spindle is.
it's a piece of wood that we put in a lathe that turns really fast and
Mm-hmm.
allows them to put the windings of a transformer on. I don't know if that helps you. It still may be Greek,
It is.
but it's a tool that helps people make parts, and
Mm-hmm.
so
Right on.
it I used to do many years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
And the weather is clearing right now. We had a good thunderstorm come through and blow my garbage cans down the street and upset the dogs. They're all calm now, and everybody seems to be happy. So uh, it's still cloudy, but there's no more lightning and thundering, and it's lightened up. It was real dark here at 8 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh, wow. Well, so a spindle, huh?
it's
I have
been
to think about that.
yeah,
Being a visual person, I maybe I'll have to do some Googling to see if I can find out what a spindle is. Oh, you've got one. Well, let's see. Bring it up again. Oh, I lost it.
I couldn't
Well,
hear your comment, so
oh, I see.
I had to take the earplug off to get him But
Oh,
that's a spindle,
oh, okay.
and it's worn out, and we got to make a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are no drawings, and it's got to be precise so that this slides on and off easily.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And you put it in a lathe, and it spins really fast, and the
What
wire goes on.
winds the wire?
Yeah,
Okay. Now I got a better idea. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, so Vivek, namaste. A long time no see and talk. How would you like
Namaste.
to introduce yourself?
My name is Vivekanand. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. I aim to bring time tested wisdom and happiness together into your business and life by unifying, simplifying, and amplifying simple technology and tools. Wake Technology Private Limited is my company. Together, let us wake up our potential. So, um, I'm in England, UK. It is 5 o'clock in the evening here. It has been a fairly decent day, 21.9 degrees Celsius, it says,
Mm-hmm.
inside. Outside, it's probably slightly more. So,
Mm-hmm. So, anything new happening in your neck of the woods?
nothing much. Not much has changed. So
Hmm.
yeah, things
Okay.
going. Yeah.
Okay. So, I thought Nathan was here. I was going to call on him, but I see he's disappeared. So maybe his system crashed on him or something. We never know when when we're doing this. it took me forever to get a good streaming on YouTube this morning, so I began to get really worried, but it finally came through. So I think, Paul, you may have been the next person who came on. How would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, good morning, all. My name is Paul. Uh, let's start with that.
What's who else?
There you go. Makes an hell of a difference, Lassie. Anyway, yeah, I had a good week last week. Interesting. I had a ride home in a cab one evening and got talking to the cab driver who was looking to get into some sort of business ventures. He'd been in a number of them before, so we went for a coffee.
Wow.
And it was quite amazing how his life and mine sort of operated in parallel. I went to university to take recreation. He was in the recreation field. In fact, he was up where you were, Lolan, in the Northwest Territories for a number of years running recreation programs.
Wow.
And and we just started talking about things we'd done in business. And he happened to own a gym that, when I was playing squash, I used to play squash at. So just how you meet people in life, and you go like, holy cow, how come we haven't known each other? So that was a fun day for me. And we're going to see if we can do some of the things I like to do about taking people's ideas and turn them into profitable action with him. So
Perfect. Wow.
yeah, good week.
Yeah. Well, he's lucky he found you.
Thank you. Well, we'll see.
Oh dear. Well, that reminds me of something similar that happened to me while I was at music camp last week. I stumbled on some people, and the more we talked, I found one person living on the island that came from a community in behind where I used to live in New Brunswick. I mean, there were so many of the strangest connections that popped up. Boy, oh boy, that was it just blew my mind. I mean that expression about what is it, 6 degrees of separation or something? It felt like it was like two or three.
Yeah.
So that's neat. So nice to have you here, Paul. Okay, Javita, I think you were next.
Namaste, all of you. I'm Jivita from India, and I'm a Reiki master teacher and also a yoga teacher. And really nice to be here.
Yes, it's nice to see you, and I got a little message from you on my cell phone this morning. I have to share with everybody that I'm still learning a lot about Facebook. So there I was back from holiday and trying to get back in the saddle yesterday, and I was on on Facebook, and I found this page with all these people who had invited me to like their page, and went, where did that come from? So I went in and clicked on a bunch of, especially those that I knew, and etc. So that's how that happened. Oh, that was kind of fun. Anyway, oh my goodness, I've gone bleary. Let me see if I can fix that. There. I shall share with everyone later some things that have happened. So I'm happy you're here, Javita. Let's see.
And, thank you very much for liking my page.
Yeah. You said that already. It came up on my phone.
That's a pleasant surprise.
Well, I've received a few other messages similar, so oh dear. Anyway, now I'm not sure who was next, whether it was Alana or Fred. So Alana, since you're next in the film strip, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Alana, coming to you from Ireland, and my blog is emptynesterblog.com, where I help people learn how to make money online. And I also have another company, ALB Digital Marketing Solutions, where I help local businesses with their online marketing and their websites.
Right on. Right. So anything new in Ireland?
Well, I've been pretty busy the last few weeks. My daughter's getting ready to go back to college, and so we've been looking for a place for her to live up around where her college is, and so that's been taking up a lot of my time. We finally found a place over this last weekend, so yeah, that's pretty much what I've been spending a lot of time doing, because it's pretty slim pickings out there.
And I bet you're doing lots of shopping too.
Oh my God, I try not to, because see, she's in her 4th year now. So we kind of got through that the first year.
Oh.
So basically it's just a matter of packing her up and moving her back. So.
I remember going off to boarding school in my last year of high school. Oh man, was there ever a lot of shopping.
Yeah, well, I told her I'm not doing any more shopping because I don't have any more room in the car. That's really the excuse. There's no more room in the car, so forget it. I'm not making 2 trips. It's got to go in one trip.
Right.
Or she can rent a truck.
Oh, right on. So I'm happy you're here, Alana.
Thank you.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. And Fred, you're back in Victoria.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me? I just checked my. Well,
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I got back. I was in Oak Bay last week, but now I'm in Colwood, so I moved already twice. Well, arrived and then I've already moved.
Wow.
I'm doing at the Juan de Fuca Library, if you know where that is in Colwood. I'm working with a group of young people. I've got about a dozen that we started yesterday and we'll go till Friday. Very interesting. They are between the age of 7 and 12. And in our introductions, I sort of said, what are you interested in? And we had someone, oh, I'm interested in helping people. I want to be a doctor. Now, remember, these people are between 7 and 12.
Right.
Others said a lawyer or a judge, maybe even a politician ultimately, ballet, somebody who likes riddles, loves doing riddles, an environmentalist, somebody who likes rock music and started telling me, wow, this is who you like? It's amazing. A historian, somebody who likes history. A vet, somebody who thinks they might want to be a vet, somebody who likes circus and reading and writing, and in fact, a theater performer. Now, this is amazing. At 12, between 7 and 12 years old, they can tell you that. Somebody asked me at that age, I wouldn't even, I'd say, I don't know, I want to be a fireman.
Well, I can tell you what I said when I was young. I
What?
want to be a nurse, because I had an aunt that I really admired who was a nurse. And as I got older, I realized that is as far away from what I want to be. So, yeah. And of course, when I was that age, women only had two choices: nurse or teacher. No, there was another one, a secretary.
Secretary.
Yeah. Three choices.
Well, talking about that, out of those 12 individuals, 10 of them are female, girls, and the other are only two boys. Just shows you, hey, isn't that
Oh, I
amazing?
love it. I love it.
So do I. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're all interested. Self-confidence, one of them said, that's why I'm here. So I work with young people, and I'm with Our Future Leaders is a website that I blog on and talk about. And I'm still getting more excited as it gets closer to September, where I go to Portugal and go to a convention and present their speech and be on a panel discussion about, working with young people. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Cool. Yeah. Well, now that you're back in Victoria, we'll have to have coffee one of these days.
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Right. Okay, so I think I've covered everybody. If somebody pops in that I don't see because I've got my screen down to only being able to see a portion of us in the film strip. But this morning, as I was, let's go back a little bit. As I knew I was going to be away for a full week, I realized that none of us had really thought about what our next topic would be, etc. And I was scouting around and looking at various things, and it suddenly occurred to me, or maybe I was reading something that made me want to do that. I realized that, for one thing, we haven't reviewed or talked about our operating principles for a long time. And there were a whole lot of things, and I thought, well, maybe it's time for us to get right down to back to the basics. And so I thought we could talk a little bit about our history and why we got together, and how we like to operate together, and then finally, what could we do to enhance the experience? Because I think it's really important that we all gain something from this experience. So, in terms of history, that's about 5 years ago, I think. That I got in touch with Ronnie Binzer and doing Hangouts on Air. I took a little course from him. I took some training from him to learn how to do all of this. And then I decided that it was about time to do something, and simultaneously I belong to a local group called HOST, which is an acronym for Home Office Support Team. And I guess I think at the time we may have even demonstrated a hangout on air at Host, and I started thinking about doing something on a regular basis, and I threw it out there, and that's how Paul ended up here, because he and I met through Host. That's how Jay ended up here, because we met at Host. Let's see. Well, Fred ended up here because he knows somebody that I knew at Host, through Host. Let's see. I think maybe that's why Nathan came to start with. So, and there were, when you look at my pre-show, all the pictures of people who have come here, they're all, some of those people are people that were Host members. Some of them are other guests that came on, etc. So that's how it all started. And we've been doing this weekly thing ever since. And I think that maybe there's been a couple of times when maybe I was ill or something. And again, like last week, I was away. I went to an island off the coast of BC here called Denman Island, a very rural style, back to the land style island, and I attended some music camp. And the place that I was didn't even have cell service, never mind Wi-Fi. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to do anything. So it was really fun to be there, though. Most of them were old hippies, back to the landers. And it was really fun. So that's a little bit about the history, and we have talked about just about everything and anything that has come up. And I think there's over 200 recordings on YouTube, going way back when. But some of those things, some of the things now would be pretty outdated, I would say, after 5 years, given the way the internet works. So why did I want to do this? I wanted to practice. I wanted to find some way to do something online. I recognized at the time that being able to do things face to face with other people was a very leading edge thing. And it was the way of the future, and I wanted to figure out how to do it, and I wanted to be there. And I thought there might be other people who did as well. So that's why I started it. Now, I have no idea why people decided to come, other than my assumption that they wanted to. So, Paul, you were one of the early ones. Why did you come?
Well, I think the original reason, of course, it was to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I wanted you to do all of the work in the experimentation, then I could reap the benefits. Which is my lazy nature. Let other people do it, then I'll figure it out, get them to show me how, or hire them to do it. One of the two. So that was my original reason for being here. But primarily just, to support you.
And I sure do appreciate that. and I've been aware that many people come to this for that reason. And I truly do appreciate that. I do. And it has been a support, and it has been part of my motivation to carry on and learn new things and share what I know, etc. So I appreciate that. So let's see. I'm still looking to make sure I've got everybody here. Yeah. Okay. So we got together. Well, so let's talk about some other people who came later. Alana, what about you? Why do you come all the time? Because you've been coming a few years now.
I have, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I suppose initially I was invited by Craig. I think what happened, if my memory serves, there was a webinar after Jay's webinar one Friday night that I sat in on. I managed to stay up till after 2 a.m. And I think you were there, and I think you had mentioned about your weekly video call, and so I sat in on it, and I've enjoyed the conversations because I've learned a lot. So I just think it's nice to, jump on every week and share information and swap war stories and help each other out. So that's why I come.
Oh, that's true. Craig used to be regular here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I mean, he's the one that took me into WA, Wealthy Affiliates.
Okay. Yeah.
So
actually, if memory serves, when I first started coming, Roland was a big help to me.
Yes.
So we used to have chats offline. He was a big help to me when I was just getting involved in all this.
And thank you for raising that, because Roland he's no longer with us. He passed, must be over a year, if not 2 years ago. And I actually, how did I know him? He was part of that whole original Hangout on Air group. And he had Saturday morning Smarties.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah,
I used to attend that, and then he started attending here.
Yeah.
And so that just goes to show, though, the thing that we all really appreciate and love about doing things online. You can meet people and get to know them without ever meeting them face to face in real life, let's say. And I know that Fred, for example, was in California, and you made a point of going to see Roland, didn't you, when he was still living?
You're muted there, Fred.
I was clicking on the wrong button there. Yes, I saw him last year. Probably it was about 6 weeks before he passed away, and we had a wonderful day. I'm so pleased and grateful that I had the opportunity to meet, because he was helping me. He was just the kind of person. He was very interested in what I was doing, working with young people, and really helped me with my website, and was interested in doing whatever he could. But that was Roland. He'd help anyone.
Yeah.
He was just a wonderful man. So that was, I felt I'm here in California. It was interesting drive, because I'm not happy driving on those highways in Southern California, but I managed to spend about 8 hours in his place. Met his wife, Barbara, and wonderful. And that, again, I think, since you've asked me about it, and I'm sort of interrupting your conversation.
No, it's fine.
What I like about it is that I've learned, I'll tell you what, because you're going to ask probably anyway, you might as well tell you.
I am.
I joined because I was looking for someone who knew Google Hangouts, and I'm interested in doing online sessions with young people. And I thought, well, I'll try this session because you're using Google Hangouts at the time. And I stay around probably because I believe you can build community even online. I mean, a lot of us have never met each other and don't have the opportunity. And I've only met, Roland and Lowell Ann face to face. but you can build community. And Roland was a prime example of that, because he was so helpful. And that's what I want young people to do as well. They can build community online as well. And it is a trend. I mean, if you go into work, looking the work structure that's happening, a high percentage of jobs are going to be online in the next decade. And there are companies that are promoting it and doing it. I do a podcast, and that's exactly what they talk about, how they're employing people around the world. One fellow said, one of my best engineers who's been with me for 12 years is in Siberia.
Yeah. So that's interesting the way you brought that up, Fred. And I have to say, yesterday on CBC Radio, there was talk about a person who was going to attend some sort of a conference and had chose to, rather than fly, she was going to sail. And as an example of traveling without adding to our global warming. And that raised a whole bunch of conversation about guilting people about travel and all of that. However, what stood out in that conversation for me on the radio was businesses are going to begin to look at how much business travel their people absolutely have to do, and what are the alternatives to business travel by air or car or whatever. And they are going to be looking at online communities, online work, more and more and more. So I think all of us are really on the leading edge. So there's another real good reason. So
I totally agree with that. And I think you're speaking about Greta Thunberg, the young lady who's coming to the United Nations. And she's on a boat because she's a climate activist, 16 years old,
yes.
Nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize as well at 16. So I follow Greta, and she's on a boat coming across the Atlantic because she refuses to fly.
Right. And the boat is not using any fossil fuels, I understand. So yeah, so that's yes. I thank you for remembering her name, because I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on the content. So yeah, so David, are you still there? Yeah, you're still there. Why do you come? Why did you join? How did you?
I had 3 reasons. I told you 2 of them, and I remembered the 3rd one as we started talking. The number 1 reason was to support you. I watched a lot and saw that you were having trouble with your chat, so I came on to help you with your chat and see if we could get that better. The second reason was to learn more things, because as I watched, I learned a lot of different things that, from everybody, and I get a different perspective of, from all over the world. We've got people in Europe, we've got people in India, we've got people in the United States and Canada, and it's very interesting to hear different aspects of it. And the 3rd reason was networking. I get to expand my world a little bit and get to have relationships that I would not have otherwise. I actually feel I have a better time at making friends online than I do in person, it seems like. So I've developed a number of relations here and helped out people and enjoyed helping people. So those are my main reasons for joining.
Well, and you certainly have been a help during this session, following the comments and all of that. But here's the other thing that I would really like to raise, is that you have been a tremendous support over and above. outside of this platform that we're doing. We've experimented and tried some things out and been there for each other, trying, doing things together that in some cases are difficult to do by yourself. You can do something, you can create something, and unless there's somebody else who's willing to be the receiver and give you feedback as to what they're getting, you're missing something. And so, David, you've been just a tremendous help as I was trying to figure out how to do the Learn Dash, and also testing, and that's why we didn't go live the way we should have this morning, because we were testing out another platform that I've been talking about. So we've been doing some things together.
I always enjoyed helping people. If I could be a help to anybody on this panel, I would be more than happy to do it. But I always profit from it. I don't make money at it, but I always profit from it because I've learned a lot about LearnDash and did some more online studying. And eventually I wanted to do courses, and I wanted to know whether I wanted to use that platform or not, or whether I wanted to recommend it to other people that I come in contact with that want to have courses on their websites. And I'm also interested in starting a Divi chat group and doing it through Hangouts or doing it through Zoom or whatever. So I'm also learning how to do this process and what's a good platform. It looks like Zoom is the best platform to do something like this, where you're talking to 5 or 6 people at once.
Yeah.
The one that you were experimenting with this looks like it's going to be really good for webinars, but it's not good for a panel. It's good for 1 or 2 or maybe 3 people talking on one subject, trying to sell something most of the time.
Yeah.
And this seems to be the best platform. So I'm learning from what you're doing and helping you through your process.
Yeah.
And helping.
No kidding.
People. I always look for opportunities to learn. It's like sometimes I hear people complain about taking a class a second time. It's like, I know I'm going to pick something up. I know I always am. I may not get as much as I got the first time, but if I'm required to take the class, I'm going to do everything I can to find something new. I may meet someone that I didn't know before and profit from that. I may learn something that I forgot. I may learn something new because they've updated it. So I'm always looking for that opportunity to learn.
Yes, and I actually we're we're a brother and sister on that on that score. That's for sure. Yeah. So now, Javita, you've only been here for a short while. So, why did you join?
Actually, here, like Dave, we all are from WA.
Yes.
So, and specifically, Jay always mentioned about Success Circle and about you. So I watch a few of your YouTube videos, and I find it's very informative and very helpful for me. So I took the chance and joined this group because you can learn from each other.
Absolutely, yeah. And that you mentioned WA, and for anybody who I may have a couple of people that I met over the last week watching this morning. But if they do, we need to sort of say, what is WA? It's a local business called Wealthy Affiliate, run by 2 local chaps, Carson and Kyle. And it's a membership site. You pay so much a month or a year, whichever you choose. And it's a series, it contains a series of training courses teaching you how to develop your own website to begin with, and also how to create your own online business. So, and you mentioned Jay, who's usually here with us, but I don't see him here. I'm guessing that his coaching, his technical coaching work has taken him away. But he is one of the trainers. He runs a webinar every Friday night for members of Wealthy Affiliates. So, and he is our techie guru, I guess, for a lot of things. So yes, I mean, we've some of us here are not all of us, but some of us are members of WA as well. So that is, but again, it's kind of that whole concept of community that Fred raised. So that's a community is really, really important to me, and I'm gathering that it's also important to a lot of you. So now, Vivek, you and I think we've known each other probably for the longest in this group. Do you think I'm right?
Probably, yeah.
Because I think you and I both go back to the old Hangout on Air stuff.
Yeah. I also was part of the Ronnie Binzer training group, but maybe, but I don't think I got to know you there. I think I got to know you when I was doing a daily.
You were doing a hangout with that other guy that was doing business hangouts. What was his name?
David, another David?
David, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we got to know each other.
Sounds like a good name to me.
So yeah, that brought us together, and I think we saw the advantage of doing long distance communication, exchange of ideas. Yeah, I think that's I can't think of anything more.
So why did you decide to participate in this group?
To be honest and frank, that's the only thing only online group that I participate in these days. I briefly became a paying member of WA, but for some reason I was not able to get the full benefits of that. Then I dropped out of WA membership. So and I have been trying to do things online without much success, but I keep trying.
Well, but now it's time for me to say what Vivek has done for me. He created what would we call that? An app? I don't know what to call it, but we call it Chipmunk. And I needed some way to inform everybody about this weekly success circle. And he created, and he using all the Google Forms and Google email and calendar. He connected all those things. So all I have to do is go into my Chipmunk, set it up, and everybody gets everything they get automatically. So that has been just a boom for me. And we've done, we did another one called ELF that allows me to send an email to people. I try not to abuse it, but when there's something that I really need everybody to know, I quite often, I can use that. And again, working on things together and learning from each other. Vivek, you and I have done a lot of things together. I mean, you even showed me how to set up Ubuntu on my laptop.
Yeah.
So when I was bitching and crabbing about Microsoft Windows, another Windows 10 thing, so we've done a lot of things together as well.
Yeah.
And of late, you've been sharing resources from the Sadhguru meditation and inner engineering programs, etc. So we've connected on on a number of different levels. And I truly appreciate all of that. You've been such a support all along.
It's a case of there was a joke. Two fishes are talking, and talking fish. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about. One of them mentions about the water being so nice, and the other one says, "What is water?" Doesn't know what water is because they are in it.
Oh, that's cool. So
Are they up to their necks in it?
Sorry?
Say again, David.
Are they up to their necks in it? In the water?
Talking about fish, David. They are in the water.
So if you're in something, you don't know what it is. You're not conscious of it.
Yeah. Or in some cases, you don't realize the importance of that until you suddenly not have it.
Yeah, no kidding. So, I think I've covered everybody so far. Have I missed anybody? No, I don't think so. So one thing I really wanted to do was go back to our operating principles, because we talked about them fairly extensively when we first started out, way back when. And I always have it posted somewhere on my website when there's a recording, etc. But within the group here, I don't think we've talked about it for a long time. So I really thought it would make good sense to go to just go back to that and just remind ourselves of what that was all about. So one of the first things that I started saying right off the bat as an operating principle was relationships before business. If we don't trust people, if we don't know them, all of those things, then business is never going to happen. So creating relationships and building the trust with one another, And I must say, I'm pretty sure that, I mean, we've mentioned how Roland came on and helped people. And Vivek has come on helping. And I mean, we've all done a bit of business together, for sure. So another principle that I used to like to say was you can get everything in life and business if you help enough people get what they want. And that was a quotation from Zig Ziglar.
Yeah,
And
he's one of my people that I listened to early on in my life. Yeah, I shouldn't say early on. Later, 10 years ago, started listening to him. And he reinforced the helping, and not necessarily why I was doing it, but I've always tried to help other people. It's always been ingrained in me. I think my mother taught me that very young, that you're here to help people, not to take. And he reinforced that quite a bit in listening to his tapes.
yeah. And so that leads me to the next one. And this was an item that Bill Graham offered at that time. It was be helpful with no expectations. And another one that I added at some point was we stand for positive possibilities and we keep an open mind. Nathan offered, we deliver our message with integrity. We deliver what we say we will deliver. And Sue, that was Sue Ferreira. Sue Ferreira was one of the early gals that used to participate. She's gone on to create all kinds of online business work herself. She said, "We never sell anything. We are not prepared to deliver impeccably." And then Alana at that time offered, "We exceed expectations." And then the last one that Jay offered, he said, this is the Moz code. TAGFEE. Transparent, authentic, generous, fun, empathetic, and exceptional. So I'm kind of curious to know whether anybody has anything they think we should add to those operating principles. And I sure do hope that you all feel as though we are living by those operating principles. What does everyone think?
The main reason why we just as you were saying earlier, don't realize that we are following them, probably because we are in it.
Yes, we're the fish in the water.
Yes.
Well,
one thing that's kept me here is it's a positive forum. It's extremely important that you have positive things in your life, and this is one of them. Everybody's positive. There's no interfighting. There's no I think that person's all wet and all that kind of stuff. It's all positive and
respectful.
It's very helpful, and it's very comforting to be around that.
Anybody have anything they think we should add? Is there anything that jumps out as being missing?
I think the group is very cooperative, and as Dave says, it's very comforting to be here.
Cooperative, and maybe collaborative.
Collaborative, comforting.
Yeah. Okay. Comforting. Okay.
You know, the first three points there, relationships before business, you can get everything, particularly the second one, you can get everything in life and business if you help enough people get what they want. I think I presented a slideshow a couple of episodes ago about the Hindu mythology and so on. There it is. I talked about Vishnu and Vaikuntha, and there the main principle where Vishnu, what he does is he gives everything to everyone else, and so he gets the wealth,
Mm-hmm.
goddess of wealth, following him
Mm-hmm.
rather than
The other way around.
other way around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm noticing we're getting close to the end, but the most important thing I think we need to toss around as we complete this is what could we do? What could I do, or what could we do that could enhance this experience for us? Is there something that that would make it even more valuable to all of us? And I'll start off by saying, suggesting one thing. It came to my mind just as a result of something that happened yesterday. And that is, I wonder if one of the things that we could add as a regular is, and it might be as part of our intro or a separate topic or whatever, but to share a discovery. Because we do it casually, but I just wondered if we could all think about that before we come. Is there something? Was there a discovery of some sort that would be helpful to everybody else that I could bring to the table? What do you think about that, everyone?
Yeah, in fact, you could add that as one of the operating principles, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Add it as a new one.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's a great idea. You know, it makes you reflect over the last week what you've done and what you've done to discover some things, and it reinforces that. I learned of a new chatbot that was offered up this week through AppSumo, and that's quite good one, it seems. It offers a lot of different features, and for $49 for a lifetime membership, it's well worth it. If you need a chat bot or live chat on your website,
So the other thing I was thinking of is there's a couple of things that I would like to throw out here. I'm wondering if you would all find it better if I shorten our intro, like the pre-show thing or outro or any of that. Is it inconvenient for you to come in and wait through all those intro things, or you think it would improve our experience if we shortened some of that? Because I'd be quite open to making changes.
I think I don't necessarily think it would improve my experience, but it may improve the audience experience if we cut down on the intro a little bit. It seems a little bit long to me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me as far as sitting here waiting for it. I mean, it's not a problem. I think customers or audience's attention span can be very short.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so-
and part of the reason that intro is there is to there are some delays, time delays in everything, so it's to ensure that everything lines up between OBS and YouTube, etc. So part of the reason for that is there, but again, I'm conscious that it may be, it's more of the same thing.
It is. I agree. It is more of the same thing. But then, on YouTube, you can't say that a person comes and watches a specific video. They may watch any video.
Mm-hmm.
So when they watch any of your 200 odd episodes, any one of them, if they get to know the people who are participating and so on, then they may be interested in watching more.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the intro part as kind of warming up.
Okay.
Well, Lan, if you think it's too long, put it at the end.
Oh well, I there is an outro as well,
Yeah.
which you folks never see because it just OBS just transmits it over to the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same goes for part of the intro. Like a lot of that intro is you folks are not aware of it.
Yeah.
Because we're chatting in here in Zoom without your being aware of the intro stuff that rolls by. So, but the other question I have is, how do you all feel about our introducing ourselves each week? Would you still want do you think that's valuable? Do you still want it? Or could we do something slightly different?
Can I jump
Yes.
in here?
Yeah. Please.
Okay, so while I was listening to this conversation, it occurred to me that it might be more beneficial, Lolan, if you kind of did the introductions and then we simply just raise our hand when you call out our name. That way it would be someone's name and maybe where they're from, maybe a really short 10-second blip per person, and that would allow for more time of the topic at hand. Because there are times when intros, depending on how many are here, can be anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, and that's taking up a huge block of your video call time. So that might be worth considering.
Well,
Yeah,
go ahead, David.
I tend to agree with Alana. I think that would be a really good idea if you did that.
But that would put extra burden on Lovelan and
that doesn't I don't find that a problem. I think I could do that, although I can be pretty long-winded sometimes. But
Well-
sometimes our intros are long because I jump in and engage engage conversation about something or with that person. And maybe that could be shortened. I don't know.
The reason I mention that is because I think it's your show and it gives you more control of your show.
Yeah.
So
Well, what I'm attempting to do right now is give you some control. You all some control.
because personally, I don't mind if you were to introduce me and say my name and where I'm from and the name of my blog. I would simply just, raise my hand and say like, here, yeah, I'm right here. So people will connect me with your introduction and then you can move on to the next person. So that's kind of the way I saw it, almost like when you're watching the news and they have guests,
Mm-hmm.
and usually the newscaster is always the one introducing the guests.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
While we're talking about this, let's talk about the thing we just talked about prior to. If people are going to bring something new each week, that's going to take up a portion of your show as well. So how that's done is something the mechanics of that is something we should discuss if you want to take that forward in your show. Like send it to you ahead of time with a brief description or something, so that when you come on, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. If we think the introductions are long now, wait till we start talking about, the exciting things that each of us are going to bring to the table each week.
Well, interesting that you went there, because that's where I was about to go. Here's what has been percolating in my brain, is that if we think of the fact that we've got that we're going to share a discovery. I was kind of wondering if we would have a slot at it, and especially if I did a short intros of everybody here, and then we had a slot that says where I would say who had a discovery, and we would choose one person to speak about their discovery, describe it, and maybe even share, screen share something online or whatever. And maybe if I were to say, I would give one person a 10-minute slot to share a discovery. And if we all make note of the discoveries that we have, as time goes on, we'll cover them all. So what do you think about that? It might mean that some of you need to do a little bit of preparation. Some of you already do when we've got a certain topic. But
I would say,
I'm really interested in finding ways to give you all of us, more profile and opportunity to do things, and so that other people will want to do business with us all. David was.
If I may say a couple of things. What you're reminding me of, two things. One is Toastmasters, and one is a book by a good Canadian called Meetings Suck. And I'd like to share some of those ideas with you, but not now because it would take too long. So you said we should have coffee sometime.
Yep.
This week I'm busy, but maybe next week, and then it would be almost like, let's say, in Toastmasters, we have a certain amount of time, and you have so many minutes and people time. And what it really does is forces you to be very organized when you have something to say and you only have a few minutes, whatever that amount of time is. The time can vary. And you can say, all right, approximately, you don't cut them off after, let's say that you give them 2 minutes just to introduce it. And then there are times when it will take someone 10 minutes because they're doing the overall present. They're the main person, and you could maybe vote on that, say, all right, let's say something like, okay, for the first week everybody will give their 2-minute thing, and then we'll vote on, hey, I want to hear more about that, so the following week they can prepare a 10-minute presentation on that, because we all said that's something we're all really interested in.
That's a good idea too.
Something like that, and again, we could discuss that if we have coffee. Like the meeting suck aspect is very good too, because you want to have good meetings. So
absolutely,
I'd happy to put something like that forward.
You're on. We'll have coffee and talk about it.
So I'm gonna leave, and we can communicate maybe after.
Right.
Okay.
But
that's a thought from this discussion.
That would take the pressure off of you to come up with subjects each week.
Well, and I do find it difficult sometimes. So I had that idea, and I have one more idea, and we're 10 minutes over already. Another idea I had was to challenge everybody, and this goes back to the mastermind concept, where we hold each other accountable for things. That was something that in the early days when we started, somehow a number of people felt they didn't kind of want to go that route. But I was thinking about that, and I was reading something that made me think, here it is, August, and what was his name? Mike Vardy, who's a local business guy. He's a productivity guy. I think his business is called the Productivityist, and he's been a speaker many times at Host. And one of the things that he talked about was, your year end or year beginning doesn't have to be December 31st. It can be any time in the year that you want it to be, and maybe after holidays are over, kids are back to school, things start to gear up again in September. So I was thinking along those lines, and I thought, I wonder if we could challenge each other to identify one thing over the next, say, 6 months or a year that you would do for yourself, one thing you would do for your family, one thing you would do for your business, and one thing for your community. And those would be things that you're not already doing, and that we could sort of work around those in some way. So I'm conscious that we're running out of time now, but the thought did occur to me that we could build something around that, and I would like to hear what everybody thinks of that idea.
So that was family, self, community, and business, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Not in that order. I had it in another order. But as an example, I said, for myself, I came away from last week talking to a number of people, etc., realizing that I want to read more fiction. I've been so focused on nonfiction reading that I haven't read a novel in forever. So I came away from last week saying, I'm going to read more fiction. So then for family, I'm storing a box of carvings for my husband, and I was thinking that maybe he's not very computer savvy, so I was thinking maybe I could figure out a way to advertise and sell those carvings for him. So that was one thing. And business, I said, well, I wonder if I could be a lot more proactive about inviting individuals to come and participate in this platform. So that was one thing. And the community, I got some material from the Green Party. And I thought, well, for the community, I owe it to myself and the community to learn more about the Green Party, what they stand for, and is that something that I want to get involved in. So those were the four things, and I wondered if I challenged you all to do that, and then we could work with that in some way. I don't know exactly how. I haven't even gone that far, but
no, it's an interesting idea. I like it. We just need to maybe one person a week would highlight what they've done for one of their different of the 4
Yeah.
or 5 different items that we've so that you know you're going to be held accountable for it. You're going to be you're going to need to show progress. And I mean something along that line, so that we're not taking up a lot of time. But we would definitely need to, if you're going to do discovery and this, we would definitely need to shorten our introductions.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would have to go to because the introductions take a lot of time. I think a lot of the introductions are interesting, and people, I don't think it's, audience wise, it's a drag for them. Myself, it just takes a long time and it eats up a lot of clock.
Yeah.
And it's, you're kind of trying to, when we introduce ourselves, you're trying to kind of interact with us every time and pull information from us and what have we done lately and so forth and so on. So maybe you doing the introductions, or maybe having someone else do the introductions instead of you, so that you're not talking all that whole time.
Right.
Because I know that can be a stress to someone. We can have an MC.
Well, and we could rotate that and give everybody an opportunity to. That's another idea.
Yeah.
We could rotate that and give everyone an opportunity, and that would be practice for those who want to do something similar in the future.
Yeah.
Roving MC or roving MC. I'll write that down. I like that idea too.
The only thing you got to be careful of is the person who's supposed to be the MC show up that week.
Yeah. And I'm conscious we've also lost Alana. Again, that would be, I'm very conscious that when we run over, we lose people because everybody has other commitments. So that would be another one of our operating principles. You stay within the time. So,
Well, Ann, do we have a operating principle, for want of a better word, as to how, when people want to comment, they do it? Like, do we put up our hand, or is there any format for that? Because we're pretty good, but often I'll see people sort of trying to jump in, and so I was wondering, is there a convention?
well, up until now, it's been people waving. But I don't, but because I have the screen set up in a certain way so that I can have everything on my screens, I don't, the film strip doesn't show everybody that's here. So I have to rove back and forth. And so I think David and Vivek both have been really helpful in saying, I see somebody wants to speak. They know that I'm not able to see everybody simultaneously.
I have it so I see everybody.
Yeah.
The film strip doesn't work for me. I don't have any. The chat is on another screen, so
Yeah.
I see the chat over there
Yeah.
and watch it
Yeah.
on another screen, so I could
Yeah.
see everybody. Otherwise, it's.
Yeah. So I do have two screens, but I have OBS and YouTube on one. I have Zoom and my script and or the YouTube comments on the other one. So I've got a lot of things going here. So I don't always have. I'm not able to.
No,
Yeah.
I
David's
understand.
doing that, problem solved.
Pardon?
I said, if David's doing that successfully, problem solved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
We just need to reiterate it so that people know that that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Okay.
But everybody tries to be. I've noticed everybody doesn't want to walk on anybody else, and we try to really
Yeah.
step in at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
I have trouble sometimes in that I I get some chat that comes in and it really is pertaining to a subject, and try to get in before
Before the subject changes.
because it's really difficult because
Yeah.
people will change the subject really quick on me, and I'm going the chat and it's good information, either information to know or question to be asked, or comment on, and so
Yeah.
it's sometimes fun trying not to, hey, wait, don't go on.
Good thing you're not shy.
Yeah. That's one thing I've not ever been accused of.
No. So, Javita, I mean, we've thrown out a whole bunch of ideas here. Do you have any feelings about any of these ideas or preferences?
I think what Alana says, I agree with her.
Okay.
Because sometimes introduction goes a bit long and you get a little less time to continue with the topic. So I agree with Alana on that.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly happy to give that a shot, and I will do that next time. So, if those of you who are here, I think I'm going to stop streaming, but I hope you'll stay here so that we can work out a few details. So, I thank you all, everyone that participated, for their additions and their contributions and so forth. And my goal certainly is to make this an even better experience for all those who do participate, and for those who watch later, because I'm aware of several people who watch at different times. So I want to thank you all. And I would like to close today's meeting, late as it is, but I think the conversation was valuable, and I just want to remind everyone that it's important to do what you love with passion. And we shall see you next week.